We're about 1/3 of the way through making the Keralan fish curry. We started earlier with plenty of coconut oil on the bottom of this small rondo, enough to liberally coat the bottom by about maybe an eighth or a quarter of an inch. We slowly sweat shallots and chilies and curry leaves until they are golden to develop sweetness and character. Now we're going to add our garlic and ginger. That will be mixed around, making sure to incorporate it well with everything else. And cook till aromatic. We'll raise the heat a little bit on that so it goes a little bit more quickly. You want to brown but not burn anything. Start to see a little bit of fond developing in the bottom of the pan. Turn the heat down a little bit. You can now start to smell the ginger and garlic cooking. So at this point, we're going to add in our dried spices. We've got a combination of turmeric powder and chili powder. It looks like quite a bit from a Western point of view. In fact, if it's cooked properly, it gives a nice sharpness to the dish without being overpowering. There should be sufficient amount of coconut oil in here for it to become paste-like and to fry the dried spices in the oil. If you don't have quite enough oil to make it sort of the consistency of a roux, then you can add a little bit more coconut oil so that you have a good balance. Again, we're trying to develop a paste that is able to be fried. We're not toasting dried spices, we're frying them in sufficient amount of oil. This is going to take moderation of heat. We want the heat to be fairly low, not too high and not too low, but in between. And we're going to fry these spices, stirring constantly until they start to stick on the bottom of the pan, developing a fond, a very toasty aroma from the turmeric and chilies. Once that happens, we'll add our liquid. We've got some kokum, which is a particular fruit from South India that has a very sharp, sour taste to it. That's been soaked in water. We'll use kokum water and the kokum itself. And then we'll add more water to the pot to make the consistency of a thin gravy, which will ultimately be our poaching liquid. This is the most important part right here, is the sweating until golden of the shallots and the chilies, and then the addition of the dried spices and toasting them in a paste. So if you've got this under control and you don't scorch or burn it, but you cook it till it's aromatic, you'll have a good paste. I'm not going to continue shooting after this because it takes you maybe 8 to 10 more minutes to get the fond fully developed on the bottom before we add the liquid, and that would just be kind of boring to watch. So I'm going to shut it off here. But this is a good start to the Keralan fish curry. Thank you.